Hey, hey, hey! And we're live again, coming to you all the way from the beautiful islands of the Philippines. Mitch, how are you doing, brother?
Oh, I'm doing great. Coming to you from the bluegrass state of Kentucky.
Man, so I'm excited to go live on our fourth and final episode
That's right.
and for the Field Note series from the CFESA Region 2, man. And today we're going to do a deep dive into technician hiring and retention, which is a favorite. And man, I mean, we've covered quite a few topics over the
We
past
sure
few days.
have.
We talked about cybersecurity, updates on the global supply chain. We talked about pricing. Man, it feels like a month. Uh, you've spent like a month there in Chicago rather than a day.
I know.
Um,
I kind of feel like in the Matrix where they plug you in and then like I download it and I know kung fu. Kind of like that's kind of like how I felt after
that's
like, this
funny.
total mind masterminding and like
Mm,
so much downloaded information from that.
absolutely, man. And you know, technician hiring and retention is such a big opportunity for us in this
Wow.
industry because without highly skilled technicians, no matter what process you put in place or technology or parts, like it all doesn't matter if you don't have technicians to service your customers and a great technicians.
Yeah,
So tell us,
exactly.
Mitch, a little bit about this panel or session that you attended at CFESA Region 2 meeting.
Yeah, absolutely. Technician hiring and retention is definitely top of mind when I spoke to a couple of the folks over there at the meeting. Again, like what you said, it's all about the people. Even
Mm,
if you have like the perfect process and all your parts are available, who's going to install them? Who's skilled enough to interact with our customers and deliver that field service excellence out there?
yeah.
And yeah, the it was a great session. It was two parts. There were two
Mm,
parts to it. So the first part, we had a subject matter expert as far as the hiring component of it. So
mm,
we had Matt Kelley, who's the executive director of the Kankakee Area Career Center. Um,
okay.
that was really insightful. And the second one was an interactive breakout session to share best practices and kind of like turn the entire room into like a mastermind. We had like almost like 30 plus participants there, and it became
Beautiful.
like a giant mastermind session.
That must have been valuable.
Super valuable, yeah. So when we first, so Matt first talked about an update. Like a lot of people think that, oh, technician jobs are, they're not attractive anymore, and everybody is
Mm.
going into corporate or into white collar work.
Or becoming TikTok influencers.
Or becoming influencers. That's right. Yeah. Or just traveling the world and reviewing it on Facebook or YouTube. But actually, he said there is a lot of interest from
Mm,
the younger generation on the technical trades or
mm,
skilled labor. And he talked about not only just for technicians but also for other frontline workers like law enforcement and the medical field, like nurses and nurse
mm.
assistants and all of that. But he said that a lot of young people are interested, but they get dissuaded because one, they don't know what to do in
Right.
without proper guidance. They just follow the normal path. Everybody's going to university. So okay, I guess I'll go into university and borrow a lot of money to go through it. When deep inside, their passion is in fixing stuff or tinkering with mechanical items and
Yeah.
everything and getting it going. So he talked about how his career center kind of like guides people towards it, the younger generation towards it, and how it they determine like what you're really good at, and
Mm,
they help you also get to the next level. So he partners with community colleges to
mm-hmm.
really get them educated onto that, and some of them who can't afford the education, they find ways for scholarships. So shout out to CFESA, because CFESA is also a
Yeah.
company that's actively involved
Yeah.
in educating in scholarship programs. In fact, we even recognized a scholar who wasn't able to join because of school or other commitments during the session.
Right.
And so he mentioned that, and then study now, pay later kind of programs are also something that are
Yeah.
super great to go into, and it generated a lot of interest from the leaders
Yeah,
of
man.
the
I mean,
companies.
talking to Josh Zolan on one of the podcasts we did, it really is a marketing problem than anything else. I don't know if you remember when uh, 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 Tim Cruise Top Gun movie came out.
Oh, right, yeah, yep, Tom
Yeah.
Cruise, yep,
I was doing a little bit of research around when Top Gun came out, and it just skyrocketed the demand for military,
yeah, people who joined the Navy, yeah,
yeah,
pretty,
the Navy,
yeah,
right? There was sudden surge in applications,
yeah,
and it's like that's like it just goes to show that it's for some of the most dangerous jobs where there's a chance that, hey, worst case scenario, you won't see your loved ones because something might happen, or right, worst case scenario is like you'll spend few months or maybe years away from your family,
right,
right, but still a simple movie was able to like attract thousands
yeah,
of
yeah,
people into the Navy. So it goes to show that really the problem in our industry is less about, oh, no one wants to do it, and more about, well, no one knows about it,
yep,
right, and or have the right idea about it. I mean, if you look at how much money universities spend, I mean, they spend hundreds of millions of dollars
pretty much,
in advertising and campaigns, and partnering up with colleges or schools, high schools, and right, so the football sports programs that they invest in, and like there's a ton of investment that just goes into promoting a school and university that unfortunately trade schools haven't caught up to
yeah,
just yet.
yeah, pretty much, yeah, and that's why getting this out there. I mean, every which way to help with that, and like your podcast here, the FXL podcast, is
Yes.
another great way for us to get the word out there. And also, again, that's going to solve, sort of like the technician shortage as people exit. Some of the senior technicians are retiring. They want their work life balance back.
Yep.
We need to refill that with
Yeah.
people who are
Replenish.
that
Yeah.
passionate as well to be out on the field.
Yeah. So that's great, man. And how about like the breakout sessions? Like, what were some of the takeaways from that?
Oh, great! Yeah. So yeah, they clumped us together in groups based on where we were seated. I was group mates with Paul Morrison, president of TWC Services, who I
Yeah.
talked about in the previous episode on pricing. So that was really great. And Ken Beasley, president
Mm-hmm.
of Heritage Food Service Group of Canada, and
Mm-hmm.
somebody who lived in Canada before. Him and I like, had a
Hello,
great
Canadian.
discussion about it. Yeah. Rusty Park, who also was on the previous discussion as well, the business development director of
The
Vanco.
panel. Yeah.
Yeah, was also there. So I was like super like stoked that I had two panel members as well with me, and and really can pick their brains as far as that's concerned.
Yeah. Very powerful group. And like, what were some of what was your top takeaway? Like, let's say from Paul,
Absolutely,
talking
yes.
to Paul.
So Paul was talking about he runs a technician summit. So it's kind of like a skip level where he had technicians like in a room, direct access to him, where they can ask him questions and they can give him
Mm,
feedback and they can give improvements, and also kind of like voice out what their concerns were. So one of the things he talked about was ever since he implemented that, his retention of technicians improved drastically. Like for example, one thing that he said that right pre-summit and post-summit was like pre-summit, they they talked about trying to remove the on call, back to back on calls from technicians, because they wanted work life balance for, and they didn't want to burn out their technicians. So
Hmm.
if I'm a technician and I did on call this weekend, next weekend, I'm free from on call.
Like,
And
yeah,
then,
like you're right. Yeah.
yeah, which I would love, right? But surprisingly, some people didn't like it. They took it differently, and they thought that it was management trying to cut
To get
costs
to
and
mid. Yeah. Okay.
everything.
Interesting.
And so he
Wow.
was like, I thought I was well intentioned in doing this, and so that's why he did the summit, and that's kind of like where they said it. And so now the determination was like, the takeaway was that, okay, some people like it, some people don't, and pretty much what he did is kind of democratize participation, not only in the on call but in other things like OT and all that. Their tablet has like a green button and a red button. If like, oh, you want to be on call this weekend, press the green button, or the field tablet that they carry throughout. So that was a great way of them to innovate. And then that tech summit, whenever he has all the technicians there, he innovated and did some cool, fun stuff. And he got his managers who lead the technicians to like do good stuff for the technicians, like clean their vans or anything like that. So that was like pretty funny.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. So skip level and voice of technician, right?
Yeah,
Make sure I definitely get a lot of great feedback when I talk to our frontliners,
yeah.
and they appreciate that actually the CEO is taking the time to, he's not up there in his white castle up in the clouds.
You're out there, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm on the ground with them, making sure that their voice, that they're being heard. And then, as also as a business owner and a service leader, yourself, or as an executive, you have a totally different perspective on the business, right? When you hear feedback, you look at it from a lot of different you use different lens than if the service manager or the immediate manager looks at it, right? Because you see cross, you're across functions, you're across the organization, and you have a broader perspective and more strategic insight, so you can make more out of people's feedback. And by just simply what we do here at Origo is, I every week I make sure that I do at least 3 one-on-one sessions with
Yeah.
random people on the team across our 300 folks, right? Every week, now, aside from my one-on-ones and weekly touch points with the team, every week I spend at least 2 hours every week set aside to talk to the frontliners,
Right.
and then I ask them 3 questions: what should we stop doing? What should we start doing? What should we keep doing?
Stop, start,
And
continue. Yeah.
that gives me more insights and ideas on how to improve our team retention and environment and culture, and to get people to stick around longer. So that's fantastic feedback, Mitch, from Paul.
Yeah.
Um,
And glad that we're aligned with that kind of best practice as well. Yep.
yep. So what about Ken? So what insights did you get from Ken?
So Ken talked about how of course in Canada especially a lot of people still want to continue to work even as they're more senior, they're 30 years in the company. And he said that he wanted to kind of like instead of like saying, okay, you it's time to retire or move on, but, he kind of has done sort of like a transition program with them so that they can
Mm,
continue to train and bring up new technicians, and at the same time they feel like they're working, but they still also have their time off to like hang out at the lake or whatever else, right? So
yeah.
so he's developed like if you earn your stripes, like if you're a senior technician for 30 years or so, you can just like opt to come in 3 days a week instead and have more time
Nice.
off. And with that proper planning and all of that, it's really
That's smart.
it's resonated well with the team, and like the senior technicians are happy. You keep your capacity higher for longer with them, and at the same time it's also a signal to the other technicians that, oh wow, even in later stages I'll be taken care of, and things like that. Time
Mm.
we put
Like a
in.
retirement,
Yeah,
semi-retirement plan. So
kind of.
that's
Yeah.
that's great. What you also see other companies do is they offer technicians like support, technical support roles, back of the house roles. And supporting technicians, being on call for any technical support. So, but that's also a great idea. So, like how roll out like a semi-retirement kind of work plan. So that's fantastic. How
Right.
about Rusty? What insights did you get from Rusty?
So Rusty talked about the importance of training and continuous training and on the onboarding process as well.
Mm,
He agreed also as well with the insights that was shared by Matt, and he said that yes, a lot of Gen Z's, younger people, are interested in it, and they actually go in and try. But he's seen that when they're kind of like they want to be masters in a month. That's the Gen Z
yeah,
pretty much,
accelerated learning. Yep.
accelerated learning, and then they don't get it right away. They're like, this isn't for me. I'm gonna try something else. I'm wasting my time here and all of that. It's like they still don't know what they want to do, right? So they're gonna try something instead of like mastering the craft and investing and taking time into it. 1 month in, they feel frustrated. They don't feel the right support. They're like, okay, I'm just gonna leave, and that's led to higher technician churn. So one of the best practices that they do at Vanco was like talking about training, bringing them in-house, not putting them always on the field. And then he's also talked about like an apprenticeship program where a senior technician sits with them and really goes through it.
Mm,
It seems very traditional to have that apprenticeship program, but believe me, it works when you're out there and you want to have somebody help you out. Even if you're experienced in something, always having the affirmation and the feedback mechanism from somebody who's been doing the job well um, always is a plus factor in saying that, oh, they are investing in me, the support is there, and I feel like I'm welcome here. So
yeah, I love it. So consider different modalities of training. How can you, or different tracks
yeah.
and different formats of delivering the training to appeal to the different types of how people learn best. Some people need online courses and they want to like go deep and go hard on it, and they want to do everything in 1 month. Other people want it a little bit more extended. Some people want a little bit more hand holding.
Yep.
So
Right.
make sure that you are appealing to the different learning modalities and delivery models to really increase your technician retention, because to your point, the highest churn is in the first 3 to 6 months,
Exactly.
and that's during training period. So that's fantastic. And did you have any insights that you shared with the panel as well,
Well,
Mitch?
absolutely, yeah. Jumping on what Rusty said, because I'm a huge personal development and sort of like learning fan, pretty much.
Mm,
I talked about using that idea and using technology that's relevant to Gen
mm,
Z to help out that, because again, we know that we have technicians aging, and we know that we have a pipeline from Matt talking about that. And if we could bridge that with the people who are already in the present in the pipeline and not have them lose interest, then let's do that. So one of the things that I pointed out is that we should use technology, anything as basic as a learning management system, to track their progress as far as that's concerned, is
yeah,
something that a company should
gamify
use.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
gamify it so that they're like, and again, that will appeal to the Gen Z, younger technician crowd. Also, training sessions that are not an hour long, like you watch a video for an hour, like you tune out.
micro.
Yeah, micro learning is essential, like in real format, or in like that you can access in your mobile phone.
Yeah, delivered on the job or real time. I love that.
Bite-sized it. Yeah, like
Yeah,
you're on the way in the field, you're having lunch, and like, oh, you can watch how to
just
do
in time learning. Yeah,
this.
just
Yeah,
in
you
time.
can disassemble
Yeah,
a compressor. This is how to do this kind of model,
boom.
and then when you're done,
I
it
love
was
that.
what's the kaping, you complete.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that kind of thing, like, and you get gold coins and all of that. So using that kind of training, maybe down the road, in the future, using Apple's Vision Pro, or like augmented reality training or virtual reality training
Yeah,
to You
And
know,
there are companies that already offer it, like interplaylearning.com. If you go to Interplay Learning, we actually use it for training our
yeah,
remote technicians,
yep.
technical support folks, and we use Oculus.
Oculus, yes,
Uh,
yeah, as
yeah,
well.
and it's like
Goggle.
probably like $20 a month to sign up to Interplay Learning, and you have a lot of stuff around HVAC and all different type of equipment. In fact, one of the things that we're looking to invest is creating simulations of different equipment and delivering it. So fantastic. So to just quickly recap, I know we're coming on time here.
Yep.
So one is you know adopt a skip level practice where you connect directly with your technicians to get that voice of technician to one give them that feel that they're being heard, but also really there's nothing better than getting that feedback directly, right?
Correct.
Especially
Yeah.
for leaders, because you get feedback and you process it differently than maybe your managers.
Correct.
Two, make sure that you get a little bit creative around how could you return your more senior technicians by maybe introducing a semi retirement kind of work plan,
Right.
and then consider them for roles in the back of the house or technical support. Three, have different modalities of training, and have different tracks. If someone is very passionate and they want to go through more of an intense training program, make sure you cater to that. If they need to have someone shadow them, or have a mentor, offer that. Deliver training in different modalities, and then use technology,
Yeah.
like you said. How can you gamify it, and how can you use technology like virtual reality to really accelerate that training and reduce your cost. Um,
Absolutely.
and I think, man, I'm really grateful. And that brings us to a great wrap for this first series of our Field Notes series with Mitch Galutera. We've got a few events coming up, industry events, and I'm keen to bring you back, Mitch, on another series
Absolutely.
and share a lot of your insights. So I'm really grateful for your contribution, brother. You're amazing. I hope you guys and gals have gleaned some great insights from this series. And what we'll probably do is we're going to create like a more of a text guide, extracting a lot of these
Right.
insights from the
Yeah.
videos and share it with you. So, Mitch, brother, again, I appreciate you so much, brother, and I'll
Thank you,
be
brother.
seeing you around.
See you around. Take care.
Thank you.